Have you ever found yourself really wrestling with learning English? Maybe feeling completely swamped by, all the different advice and apps? Or maybe you just wish there was one clear, step-by-step path to actually getting fluent. Well, if that sounds like you, you're definitely in the right place today. Because this deep dive is basically your shortcut to being properly informed on exactly how to master English. We're drawing insights from excerpts from Zero to Fluency, your English learning blueprint, which is a really thorough guide. So our mission today, to unpack this blueprint, we want to pull out the most important bits, the key knowledge, maybe even some surprising facts, to give you a practical, clear plan from zero, basically all the way to fluency.
That's exactly it. And we're not just going to tick off a list of steps. We really want to set the stage for you. Break down the how, sure, but also the deeper why these methods work. The goal is to help you understand what really matters so you can make that consistent, noticeable progress.
Okay, perfect. Let's dive straight in then. First big topic. Why English is your global advantage. I mean, the number is just staggering. Over 1.5 billion people speak English worldwide. That's huge.
It really is.
Yeah.
Almost hard to grasp the scale.
Right. And the source material really lays out how this opens doors, specifically access to international jobs. That's a big one. Broadens your horizons massively.
Definitely.
And then travel experiences, being able to actually connect when you travel, not just point at menus.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference.
And connecting to global culture, watching Hollywood movies without subtitles, getting the jokes, plus educational opportunities, understanding global news more directly, and maybe the biggest thing, connecting with people from pretty much anywhere, breaking down those barriers.
What's fascinating there, I think, is just the sheer breadth of opportunity it offers. It's not just one niche thing like business or travel. It's foundational. It gives you a real edge whether you're a student, a traveler, a professional, anyone.
Absolutely. It's like a universal key.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, okay, we've established why it's so valuable. Let's talk about the crucial first step, according to the blueprint. Building that unshakable mindset. Motivation. Because listening to language, let's be real, it takes time. It takes effort.
Sustained effort.
Exactly. So your why, your reason for doing it, that's not just a nice thought, it's your fuel. The blueprint suggests asking yourself some pretty core questions. Why do I want to learn English? What will I actually achieve if I get fluent? And how will it really improve my life?
Deep questions.
Yeah, and the advice is simple but powerful. Write them down. Physically write the answers, and then read them every single day.
That physical act, writing it and seeing it daily, it does something, doesn't it? It makes it more concrete. It reinforces that commitment. And building on that, the source really hammers home setting realistic goals, not just, I want to be fluent, but small, actionable things.
Like what?
Like, I will learn 5 new words every day. Or I'll practice speaking for just 10 minutes daily. Tiny steps. It's all about consistency over trying to be perfect immediately. The blueprint puts it nicely. Progress is better than perfection.
That's such a key point. Progress, not perfection.
Right. And this kind of intrinsic motivation, driven by your why and your small wins, that's what fuels the whole journey.
So true. Because often the biggest hurdle is just feeling overwhelmed, right? Or being afraid to make mistakes.
Absolutely. Fear of judgment, fear of sounding silly.
Yeah. But okay, mindset is set. You have your why. Now you need the actual building blocks, the language itself. And that means mastering the basics first. Can't really skip this part.
No, you need that foundation.
The absolute basics, according to the blueprint, alphabet and sounds. English pronunciation can be, tricky.
Understand.
Yeah, so it suggests resources like Elsa Speak or looking up phonics lessons on YouTube. BBC Learning English is good too. And then basic grammar, understanding simple sentence structure, subject plus verb plus object, like she loves coffee. Sounds basic, but getting that solid is key.
It really is.
And core verb tenses, present, past, future. Your I eat, I ate, I will eat. Fundamental time markers, plus articles a and basic prepositions like in, on, at. These little words trip people up all the time.
They really do. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, these basics aren't just abstract rules to memorize. They're the tools you use for clear communication. The blueprint wisely warns against getting totally stuck on complex grammar rules.
Right. Don't get paralyzed by grammar.
Exactly. Use them as a framework for actually interacting, for expressing yourself. That's the goal.
Okay, moving on. This next bit from the blueprint is where I think it gets really interesting for a lot of learners. building vocabulary. Words are the building blocks, right? The more you have, the more you can say and understand.
Simple as that.
And the blueprint offers some really practical ways to pick up words quickly. First, learn in categories, like group words together. Food words, emotion words, travel, work, family. It helps your brain make connections.
I like building a mental map.
Yeah, exactly. Second, flashcards. Good old flashcards, but maybe using apps like Anki, Quizlet, Memrise. And check this out. The source says just 10 minutes a day consistently can lead to learning 300 new words a month.
That's pretty impressive for 10 minutes.
Isn't it? And third, practice with real examples. Don't just memorize the word improve. Use it immediately in a sentence. Like, I want to improve my English skills. Make it active. Oh, and a great tip they add. Keep a vocabulary notebook or maybe a digital note, just somewhere to jot down new words and review them.
And that focus on context, using words and real examples, that's absolutely key for actually retaining and using the words. It takes you way beyond just memorizing a list. You understand how the word fits into a real conversation.
Totally. Which leads nicely into the next point, challenging that old, boring textbook approach. The blueprint really pushes for making learning fun and practical, which I love.
Me too. It has to be engaging, right?
Exactly. So immerse yourself in ways you actually enjoy, like watching English movies and TV shows. Start with subtitles if you need to, then maybe try switching them off sometimes. Things like Friends, The Office.
Stuff people actually watch.
Right. And try repeating phrases out loud. Mimic the actors. Also, podcasts like The English We Speak from the BBC or All Ears English, Luke's English podcast. Great options out there.
Loads of good ones.
And don't knock language games. Duolingo, Word Up for Picks One Word. They make it feel less like studying and more like, well, a game.
And what's really fascinating here, scientifically speaking, is how imitating native speakers through movies, podcasts, whatever, actually builds your pronunciation, your intonation, your rhythm. It's not just passive listening. You're actively training your mouth and your ear.
Oh, interesting. So it's like muscle memory for your mouth.
Kind of, yeah. And that directly builds fluency and confidence. You start to sound more natural.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, for what the blueprint calls the most important skill, daily speaking, practice.
The big one.
Yeah, you can know all the words, all the grammar, but if you don't speak, you won't get fluent, period.
True.
So the source gives some great practical strategies. First one might feel weird, but talk to yourself.
Yeah, it does feel weird at first.
Right. But describe what you're doing. I am brushing my teeth now. I am cooking rice. Practice little dialogues in your head or out loud if you can.
It's used to forming sentences on the fly.
Exactly. Second, and this is crucial, find speaking partners. Look for groups online, Telegram, Facebook, Tandem, or use apps like HelloTalk, Speaky, italki. Connect with real people.
Essential step.
Third, role-playing. Pretend you're a tourist asking for directions, or a waiter, or a teacher. Act it out.
Makes it practical.
And finally, a really useful one, record yourself speaking. Then listen back. You'll hear things you don't notice otherwise.
Ooh, that's brave, but so effective.
It is. But that emphasis on overcoming shyness, accepting that you will make mistakes, that's maybe the biggest psychological hurdle.
Absolutely. It raises that key question. How do you break down that fear? And the answer really is that consistent, low-stakes practice the blueprint talks about.
Right. Just doing it, even badly at first.
Yeah. It normalizes speaking. Mistakes become just part of learning, not something terrifying. It's like learning anything physical. You stumble, you adjust, you get better.
Good analogy. Okay, so speaking is vital, but what about understanding other people speaking? Listening. That's often a huge challenge for learners, right? Especially understanding fast, natural speech.
Definitely. The speed, the accents, the slang.
So how do we sharpen our listening skills? The blueprint gives some really practical tips. First, daily listening practice. Watch YouTube videos, maybe with English subtitles on it first. Listen to slower English news like VOA Learning English. Just get input every day.
Consistency again.
Always. Second, listen and write. Find short audio clips, listen carefully, and try to write down exactly what you hear. This is brilliant because it improves your listening and your spelling at the same time.
Double win.
Yeah. And third, the shadowing technique. This one's powerful. You listen to a sentence, pause the audio, and then repeat it exactly like the speaker. Same intonation, same rhythm.
Mimicking, basically.
Exactly. And it's amazing for improving fluency and pronunciation quickly because you're internalizing how the language sounds.
And these techniques work because they actively train your ear and your brain. You're not just passively hearing noise. You're learning to process spoken English efficiently. And there's such a direct link between better listening and better speaking. You start to hear the patterns you need to reproduce.
Makes total sense. Okay, next up, reading. The blueprint highlights reading as this really natural, almost effortless way to absorb grammar, vocabulary, sentence structure.
Yeah, without feeling like you're studying grammar rules.
Right. It suggests starting simple. English storybooks for beginners, maybe graded readers that match your level, then simple news articles. News and Levels is a great site for that with different difficulty levels.
Good resource.
And some tips for how to read. Highlight new words as you go. Try reading out loud sometimes helps speaking too. And crucially, after you read something, try to summarize it briefly in your own words. Tests your understanding.
Good practice.
The goal, just try to read one short article or a few pages every single day.
And connecting that to the bigger picture, reading just immerses you in authentic language used naturally. You see how words and grammar actually work together in real sentences and paragraphs. It deepens your understanding way beyond isolated rules or word lists. You get the feel of the language.
Yeah, the feel is a good way to put it. Okay, what about writing? Often the skill people practice least.
True. Maybe it feels intimidating.
Could be. But the blueprint argues writing is really important because it forces you to think in English, to organize your thoughts in the language. It suggests starting super simple, like single sentences, then build up to paragraphs.
Manageable steps.
Yeah, and concrete ideas. Keep a daily diary, just one sentence. Today I went to the market. Simple. Or write your opinion on something easy. I think learning English is fun. Even just making your social media posts in English counts.
Practical.
And don't be afraid to use tools like Grammarly or even ChatGPT to check your writing. But the key is to look at the corrections and learn why it was wrong.
Definitely. Writing is such an active form of learning. It forces you to retrieve vocabulary, wrestle with grammar. It really shows you where your gaps are. And yeah, learning from the mistakes you make when writing, that's critical for progress.
Right. Okay, so we've covered mindset, basics, vocab, listening, speaking, reading, writing, all the components. But there's one thread running through everything. The single most important message in the blueprint isn't there.
Let me guess. Consistency.
Bingo. The unwavering power of consistency. The blueprint is so clear, you don't need to lock yourself away studying for 4 hours a day.
Which is a relief for most people.
Totally. Even just 30 minutes a day is genuinely enough if you do it consistently. Day in, day out.
Asa.
It even gives a sample routine. Maybe 15 minutes listening to a podcast in the morning commute. 10 minutes learning 5 new words at lunch. 10 minutes speaking practice in the evening. That's it.
Broken down like that, it feels very achievable.
Exactly. And track your progress weekly. Celebrate the small wins, they matter. And please, don't give up when it feels hard.
Because it will feel hard sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. But that's usually when the real learning is happening.
And this raises that interesting question again. How do these small bits of effort actually add up? It feels like it shouldn't work, but it does. It's neuroplasticity, basically. Every little interaction, even 10-minute, is literally reshaping the neural pathways in your brain for English.
Wow, so it's like tiny workouts for your brain.
It's exactly. Daily micro workouts. Individually, they seem small, but over time, they build incredible strength and automaticity. It proves that idea. You are improving every day, even when it doesn't feel like it.
That's really motivating, actually. Okay, before we wrap up, the blueprint adds some bonus tips, little things to accelerate learning.
The extra boosters.
Yeah, like repeat and review often. Don't just learn something once. Revise weekly, keep it fresh. Simple one. Change your phone language to English. Instant immersion.
Easy win.
Try to actively think in English. Catch yourself translating in your head and consciously switch to just thinking in English. Hard at first, but powerful.
Trains the brain directly.
Record yourself speaking and listen back. We mentioned it for speaking, but it's a great overall feedback tool. And keep a journal, not just for writing practice, but to track your improvement. Note down things you can do now that you couldn't do before. Seeing that progress is huge for motivation. And those immersion tips, like the phone language or thinking in English, they just weave the language into your life constantly. And the self-recording gives you that honest, objective feedback you need to fine-tune things.
Brilliant. Okay, so let's quickly recap this whole blueprint. It starts with building strong motivation, your why. Then mastering the absolute basics of grammar and building vocabulary consistently.
The foundation.
Right. Then actively engaging every day with English, watching, listening, reading, speaking, writing. making it fun and practical,
Daily habits.
and tying it all together.
Yeah.
Being incredibly consistent even with small amounts of time, and being patient with yourself.
Yes.
Celebrating progress.
Crucial.
The promise from the source material is pretty bold. Follow this guide step by step, and your English will improve faster than you probably think is possible. So, considering all these strategies we've just unpacked, here's something for you, the listener, to think about. Which single step from this deep dive will you implement first? What's one thing you can do this week to kickstart or maybe reignite your English learning journey?
Great question to ponder. We really encourage you to take what you've heard today and actively apply it. Continue your own deep dive into English. Happy learning.